Hello, I'm Taylor, one of the clinical educators at Aerogen. This video will demonstrate the proper setup and use of the Aerogen Continuous Nebulization Tube Set. For continuous nebulization, Aerogen has developed a proprietary continuous syringe. The key features are a non-standard lure connector and blue color-coded tube set and syringe, which reduce the risk of misconnection. The continuous nebulization tube set is a single patient use device that provides drop-by-drop aerosolization. Let's begin. Always perform a functional test with the Aerogen Solo before initial use. Visually inspect the Aerogen Solo. Pour 1 to 6 milliliters of normal saline into the Solo cup. Then connect the Solo to the controller using the controller cable. Plug the AC/DC adapter into an outlet. Press and hold the blue on-off button for at least 3 seconds and verify that the green continuous indicator light is on and that aerosol is visible. Disconnect the Solo from the controller and verify that the amber indicator light is on. Reconnect the Solo to the controller. Finally, turn the system off. Verify that the 30-minute and continuous indicators are off. Let's identify the continuous components. The continuous tube set is made up of 3 key elements: the proprietary Aerogen blue syringe, cap, and color-coded tubing. This will work with the Aerogen system, the Aerogen Pro X controller, controller cable, AC/DC power cord, and the Aerogen Solo. Next, check the Aerogen Solo placement. Ensure the Aerogen Solo is firmly fitted into the Aerogen Solo T-piece and is in the correct orientation. The Solo is a gravity-fed device. The orientation of the Solo is important. To fill the syringe, pull the plunger down and fill from the tip of the syringe. To use the syringe, remove the syringe cap from the medication-filled syringe. Next, remove the air from the syringe. Ensure that the tip is facing upwards and at the highest point to release all of the air from the syringe. Visually check that all of the air has been removed from the syringe. Air in the syringe may travel down the tubing, trapping air between the vibrating mesh and tube set. Next, attach the syringe end of the tubing to the syringe. Prime the tubing until the medication reaches the end of the tubing before you attach it to the Aerogen Solo. The tubing priming volume is a maximum of 3.65 milliliters. Ensure you see a consistent flow of medication from the syringe. Visually check that there is no air in the line. Next, place the syringe in the pump. For horizontal placement, ensure the tip is rotated toward the base of the syringe. Ensure the pump is turned on. From the syringe pump, select the syringe size. It is typically the BD Plastipack 60cc syringe. Next, unplug the tethered silicone plug from the Aerogen Solo, but do not remove it from the Solo. Screw the nebulizer end of the tubing onto the top of the Aerogen Solo. Visually check that there is no air in the line, no air in the syringe, and no medication in the Aerogen Solo. Air in the syringe may travel down the tubing, trapping air between the vibrating mesh and the tube set. Start the continuous mode on the Aerogen Pro X controller. The controller must be connected to AC/DC power in order to perform in continuous mode. Visually check that the battery charging light is on. From the off position, press the on-off button on the Aerogen controller for at least 3 seconds. Set the appropriate flow rate and start the pump. The maximum flow rate for the Aerogen Solo is 12 milliliters per hour. Visually check that aerosol is being produced with subsequent drops and that there is no medication collecting in the Aerogen Solo. To change the syringe, be sure the pump is paused and begin at the Solo. Disconnect the tube set from the Aerogen Solo first. This is an important step as it avoids any liquid in the tubing from free-flowing into the Aerogen Solo. Remove the empty syringe from the pump. Keep both ends of the syringe tubing at the same level to prevent any spillage of medication. Avoid using clamps or kinking the tubing. Visually check that there is no air in the new syringe. Remove any air from the syringe. Attach the syringe end of the tubing to the syringe. Prime the tubing until the medication reaches the end of the tubing before you attach it to the Aerogen Solo. The tubing priming volume is 3.65 milliliters. Ensure that you see a consistent flow of medication from the syringe. Visually check that there is no air in the line. Place the syringe in the pump. For horizontal placement, ensure the tip is rotated toward the base of the syringe. Unplug the tethered silicone plug on the Aerogen Solo, but do not remove it from the Solo. Screw the nebulizer end of the tubing onto the top of the Aerogen Solo. Visually check that there is no air in the line, no air in the syringe, and no medication in the Aerogen Solo. Air in the syringe may travel down the tubing, trapping air between the vibrating mesh and tube set. Ensure the controller is still in continuous mode. Confirm the appropriate pump rate on the pump and restart the flow. Verify the output rate of the pump does not exceed 12 milliliters per hour. If you have any additional questions, please contact your Aerogen clinical educator or CCS following this training.